Okay, welcome to the 9th of January. Seeing if that helps. Does that help? 9th of January, video diary. Now today, I've not got the blind shut and it looks kind of randomly bright, but that's because we're parked next to a big white wall. So we are coming to somewhere that I've stayed just a couple of times, but Arthur's never stayed. It's in Fladbury. It's up a side street, but it's a quiet private road. It's sort of a really good spot to come to if we ever know it's going to be windy or rainy, or just super cold. We just decided to come here tonight for a bit of a change. I like to try and only stay in one place a maximum of 2 nights. I've been at the other place, one of the other places we stay at around Pershore, a few times on and off over the last couple of weeks, so just decided to mix it up. Also, we'd picked up Oxwich, the name of our motorhome, from the garage, and where we're staying now just kind of made sense with where we were after Arthur finished school. So kind of today's adventures are that Oxwich needs more work. Isn't it fun?
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah, Arthur's going for a poo, by the way.
Wait, don't sit now. I'm not. I'm just up in my bedroom.
In the toilet, and
No.
so yeah, Oxwich needs a new suspension, a new front suspension. Dear, there's been a knocking going on for ages, which I had let the garage know about. There's also a really loud creaking, which has been going on for weeks, which I also let the garage know about. Now, Chris at the garage is absolutely fantastic, but he has definitely let this one slip through. It wouldn't stop me recommending him. It won't stop me going back there. He's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, unfortunately, the really loud creaking that was there was the reason that it just went in for more work. It came out with that same creaking. So yeah, back in. No idea how much that's going to cost. All I can do, I mean, this is my home. I can't have it failing on us. Eventually, all the parts will be new. I've also got the electric heater. I'm waiting for Dan to let me know about. That the electric heater now doesn't work when we're plugged in. That's fun, isn't it? So anyway, yeah. So we're parked in Fladbury. It is getting colder at the moment. We've had like a relatively warm spell. Last year through November, we had quite a cold spell where outside it was getting down to a minus degrees C. But to be honest, we've seen I think 2 degrees C inside the motorhome. That was on the morning we went down to. We were travelling down to Bristol to meet my sister for Arthur's birthday treat from my sister, my mum, and my other sister. And we were parked in this lovely small forest, small woods, basically. And that's one of the coldest. Actually, that might have been 4 degrees. So at 4 degrees, you're absolutely feeling on your face that it's proper cold. But yeah, it's been down to 2 degrees. That's kind of one example and one reason why I decided to drain the onboard water tank. I drained the onboard pipes. There's basically a switch next to the water pump that you flick it up and it lets all the water out. There's a bung in the onboard water tank. Took that out, so that's drained. And then the other trick is to leave the water pump turned on and then open the taps, so that basically the micro switch on the tap will make the water pump run, basically open all the taps and let the water pump run and run and run and run and run until there's no more water coming out of the taps. Then turn off the water pump and leave the taps open. And then if it does freeze inside and any water is in the pipes and the water does freeze, the water can expand. That's the bit that's okay. So So that's it really. So I wanted to keep this a short one because it's 7:20 now, and I do definitely want to be having good reading time when I'm with Arthur. So I don't know who you're hiding from, because at the moment this is just for us. But it might be for the world, who knows. So I don't know if you've got anything to say today. So yeah, the only the sort of trials and tribulations is I need to work out with Chris another time to get the motorhome back into the garage. So we obviously need to be conscious if so. The motorhome has previously needed bigger work, so 2 strut mounts and a clutch. So I basically had to drop it off with Chris one afternoon. Then Arthur and I stayed in the Angel Hotel for the night. So we treated it as like a treat, like a little holiday for us. And then at the end of the next day, we went and collected the motorhome. And that's the plan, to do that. But I'd want to avoid doing that because eventually I want to be stopping to spend money. I want to have a really low cost, low waste, low consumption life. But getting all this work done is absolutely critical, so we don't have a failure when we're out and about in the wild. So that's that. We're sort of well into our routine now, which starts at 6 o'clock, where we go for a walk. We do 15 minutes of exercise. To be honest, we could alternate that. We could actually, if we're doing exercise, we don't necessarily need to go for a walk, because going for a walk is so our body more quickly processes the food that's inside it. Whereas if we're doing exercise, that is doing that as well. Because we started this our sort of evening routine at 6 o'clock, and it's now 7:20, and we're still doing it. Like doing the journal video diary is part of the evening routine. And I personally love reading to Arthur from until 8 o'clock. And Arthur's so cool because he likes the stuff I like. So it means I get to read books I would read anyway, which is just fantastic. So what else have we done? We've done egg fried rice. So sort of as far as meals, it's sort of the same. I'll kind of, if I've got broccoli, I'll do like a big batch of broccoli, and I'm thinking how to get smart. So when I do the egg fried rice, 10 minutes before the end, I'm putting broccoli on top of the rice. So the rice is steaming on top of so the broccoli is steaming on top of the rice. I want to use as few pans as possible. I want to not have to wash up what we don't need to wash up, basically. So I'm even only using the absolutely essential pans.
The second day of the campsite, for some reason, we had a load of washing up. It was fun to wash.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but I think that's because we had an evening's washing up, and then the next morning, and lunches washing up, and because we'd done Pancake Fridays with potatoes and
bacon
and other stuff. But that's the thing. If you're gonna, so we did like really nice diced potatoes with strips of bacon cooked on top of the potatoes. That's a bit oily. That's tricky to get clean, so it's sort of a good idea to save that for if we're staying at a campsite. Alternatively, when there's oil involved in pans and plates, just to boil just a tiny amount of water. It doesn't need very much, just to get enough heat to sort of break down and shift the oil, and then it's into lots of like eco-friendly washing powder. What else? The other thing, as it gets colder, is I feel once we got a bit of heat inside the motorhome, that heat gets a nice amount of residual heat. So basically, we're putting the heater on now. So we drove here, and within 10 minutes, the engine will be warm enough for the blowers to be warm. So that gets a bit of heat inside. Did we put the heater on when we parked? Can't remember. I can't remember. Hang on, because I'm trying to be quick with this. Sorry, don't say sorry. I can't remember if we put the heater on when we got here. But anyway, we've been doing cooking. That puts heat in here. And we're basically just putting the diesel heater on for an hour. And once you've warmed up the cushions and the cabinets and the walls and all that, and the ceiling and all that sort of stuff, that gives off a nice amount of heat for quite a while, so that will actually keep us warm for quite a bit through the night.
When the diesel heater's on, my favourite spot is down here because there's a blower right here, and plus there's a corner which I can just squeeze.
Yeah.
I'm really good at squeezing into small spaces.
Yeah, that is cool.
I really am.
That's cool. And then the other thing I do is pull there's blinds on the skylights, so I pull those across. And I basically, because it's dark anyway, but also I pull all the blinds down on the windows because that acts as sort of double glazing. And it really does help. I can feel it in the morning when I put the blind up. I can feel like a wave of cold. So pulling the blinds down is also a really good thing to do in winter. The other thing is we've got long johns on, or warm pyjamas. I've also got a t-shirt on underneath my long johns.
I would recommend
I've got
fluffy pyjamas.
Socks on. Arthur's got fluffy pyjamas, but he has got long johns.
They're quite tight.
And we were using single bed duvets for quite a while, but now we've switched to the winter sleeping bags that we got when we started staying in Bothies a couple of years ago.
I don't think we'll do that anymore because we've got a motorhome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I sleep so badly in a Bothy, just worrying about who's going to turn up. So, but we could do day trips to Bothies, couldn't we? Yeah, but it means carrying a load of stuff. Yeah, we don't need to do that. So yeah, we basically got just over here. So that's my bed setup down here. Like Arthur's setup is up there, so that's his upstairs room.
This is my bed now.
This is the bed down here. So we basically got just a sleeping bag. So it's a good winter sleeping bag and a blanket, and that's okay. I mean, I am used to it being a bit colder, so I'm okay. If you're somebody that has been in a house on 20 odd degrees.
Me?
All the time, then
Yep.
you really should be turning your heating down anyway, because you begin spending a lot of money and causing a lot of pollution potentially. Even if you're on a green deal, you'll be spending a lot of money.
It's not me, my mum turning the heat up. It's Auntie Shirley.
Yeah, well, she probably needs the heater, doesn't she? Because she is a lot older. So yeah, even when I had a house, I was used to it being 18 degrees maximum, and always having the heating off at night as well. Although I used to set the heating to come on at 16 degrees, so this is quite a bit different. I wake up here and it's definitely going to be down to like 11 or 10 degrees, sometimes less. But 6-7 degrees is actually okay. But 4 degrees, yeah, you know that's cold. So anyway, that's it for this one. Been sort of today Arthur's back at school, so it meant I'm parked in the long stay car park where the motorhome will park perfectly. It's a short walk, it's a tiny walk to Arthur's school, it's a short walk to my office. Seems to make sense at the moment to have the office. I actually like being around other people. It's nice to be in a building as well, just to get a bit of a break, because then the weeks when I'm not with Arthur I do go off into the wild, and then the evenings when Arthur and I are together, or the weekends, we also go off into the wild. So that's all good. Is there anything you want to say about today's life in the motorhome?
It gets very snuggly.
Snuggly?
It's hot.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's the other thing. I think if we're going to be in Oxwich next winter, then I would do another batch of work. I would ask Dan to reroute the heater piping, that we would put a proper pipe going into the bathroom and somehow get a pipe to go up into the bedroom upstairs.
Because it's quite cold in the night. But
it's really cold. Or we would get more pipes through the motorhome so that then the heat rises.
I've got my fact that I would like.
Yeah.
If you have a sleeping bag and it's normally cold, turn it over so where your head's supposed to be, like the hood, is flopping over the entrance and go inside your sleeping bag. So that hood area is blocking some of the cold out and the heat in.
Do you mean pull it over like a hood?
No, go inside your sleeping blanket.
Yeah. Sleeping bag, yeah.
If you look at the front, you will see the gap. Maybe that'll be a bit squished. But then the hood that usually goes over your head, you lie in. Put that over the front of the gap so it blocks some of the cold out.
That's cool. Do you wake up in the night, or you sleeping okay?
Sleeping okay.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, it's so annoying. I just keep waking up before my alarm, almost. And it's not. I thought it was maybe that we are intimately connected with the outside here. If it rains, if it's windy, if it's cold, we know about it, don't we? But I've been waking up, even when I've been staying at my mum's in a familiar bed, even when it's quiet here, in hotels. Yeah, I can't work it out. But anyway, that's kind of the reason to change the routine, is to see if I can improve my sleep. So anyway, so yeah, the sort of the plan in the morning, because of where we are, I'll get up at 5 o'clock. I'll do half an hour of yoga. I'll wake up Arthur, coming up to like 6 o'clock. I'll start up Oxwich. I'll let her warm up for a little bit, just while we maybe put like the bed away and do a few. I know I've done that already, but just check cupboards and check everything's closed. And then we'll drive into Pershore. That's only 10-15 minutes away. We'll park up there, and then we'll get into our morning routine, which means getting out the table. I'll be doing my morning work. Where Arthur's normally really helpful with like soaking some oats and then all that sort of stuff, basically. So sometimes if we were somewhere where we could go outside a bit more, then we would normally have like wake up and do work and have breakfast in that location. But because we're basically on a road, it makes sense just to pack up and leave straight away in the morning, and then get set up at the long stay car park in Pershore. Which and that's kind of a bit of a tip about the parking as well. So the long stay car park in Pershore is absolutely perfect. There's some of the parking spots that are perfect for this size of vehicle. So also this size of vehicle really is the maximum size that you can park in normal parking spaces. But you do need to park where the end of the parking space has got a bit of a verge, so the back end of the motorhome can hang over the verge. So this motorhome is about 6.2 or 6.5 meters long, sort of a bit wider than a normal car. So I was basically paying £4 a day to park, which is pretty good on its own. But then I found that Wychavon Council do a season ticket. So the season ticket is, well, it depends how much you buy. But basically, the season ticket works out to £33 a month, which is such a bargain. So if I was paying £4 per day before, in 10 days I'd have spent 40 quid. The season ticket's only £33, and I can park for a whole month. So that's basically what we do. So that's what we'll do in the morning. Anyway, it's gone 7:30, and it's reading time. Bye. So that's it for today.